Today I would like to talk to you about something that has been kind of a funny quirk of my life for a good decade or so. I am a vegetarian. I am not a militant vegetarian, and I usually do not actively recruit people to be vegetarians, but I am a vegetarian. Most of the time when I go out for lunch in Wyoming, which is one of the world's biggest cattle producers, I end up having a piece of lettuce with a little bit of ranch dressing on it. Why do I go and have lettuce with ranch dressing when there is sirloin steak fresh off the cow? I stay vegetarian for several reasons. I have health reasons for it, my views on animal welfare, and the positive implications that vegetarianism has on the environment. All are reasons why I continue to practice a vegetarian diet, even in the face of cattle country. I will explain these benefits, and I hope to persuade my audience to consider vegetarian dietary choices, even if they do not become vegetarians all the time. First, I would like to describe the different kinds of vegetarians that there are. The first kind of vegetarian is called a pescatarian. Pescatarians will eat fish or seafood, and sometimes they will even eat chicken depending on their views, but they tend to avoid mammal products, so they'll avoid pigs or cows or lamb, things like that. Then there's the second kind of vegetarian, which is an ovo-lacto-vegetarian. This is the kind of vegetarian I am. Ovo-lacto-vegetarians will eat dairy, they'll eat eggs, but they avoid anything that's basically a dead animal, even if it is a fish or seafood. They also will eat honey and usually don't have any problem with animal products in the rest of their lives. The third kind of vegetarian is called a vegan. Vegans are the most extreme kinds of vegetarians, and they tend to avoid all animal products. This means that they eat no dairy, no cheese, no eggs, and they will avoid things like leather products or dyes that are made from animal products. But whatever kind of vegetarian you are going to receive many health benefits as a vegetarian. According to the Brown University Health Information website, vegetarians are at a much lower risk for developing heart disease, diabetes, and they're much less likely to be obese. They also have a reduced risk for hypertension and many different kinds of cancers. Completely eliminating meat products from the diet, as well as dairy and eggs, also will reduce the risk of heart disease by 90% in everybody that they have tested. Similar results are achieved by carefully monitoring how much dairy and egg you have in your diet, even if you do not completely go vegan. The only problems with being a vegetarian in this respect are making sure that you get enough supplements and enough protein, and this is one reason why it is more difficult to be a vegan than a vegetarian, because you can still get a lot of protein from animal products even if it's not meat. This is one reason why I particularly recommend being an ovo-lacto-vegetarian, because you can still benefit from egg products and that sort of thing in your daily life. If your personal health is not enough of a reason for you to be a vegetarian, then perhaps you should consider the implication for animals. Recently, and this is what actually inspired me to share this speech with you today, I heard about a factory farm near Wheatland, Wyoming, which is very close to where I grew up. I had no idea that there were factory farms in Wyoming, and it made me kind of sad to realize that I was this close to something that was a pretty bad situation. Factory farms have horrible living conditions for the animals within them, and they actually are forced into tiny areas that are extremely small and far too small for any animal to live. I have some pictures that are a little bit graphic, but I hope they will show you what the animals have to endure before they're slaughtered. The first picture is of pregnant pigs in tiny holding cells, and this is actually one of the bigger cells that are held for gestating pigs. The second is of chickens, and this is again actually one of the least graphic photos of chickens in a slaughterhouse, and you can see how they're not exactly having fun. Chickens especially are also subject to a lot of alterations because of the tiny living conditions, because they get very aggressive as soon as they are crammed into little crates, so they often remove the baby chicks' beaks or their feet so they can't peck and claw each other. The slaughter itself is often not very fast, and different methods of slaughter are supposedly instant, and yet the animals are alive going into the meat processing. While people may differ on their opinions of whether this is real cruelty or if animals, it's an okay thing for animals to go through this, there are still even more impacts of being a vegetarian. Being a vegetarian allows you to make an environmentally sustainable choice. For example, most of our cattle production that we outsource to other countries comes from rainforest areas. Every day, we lose the equivalent of about 3 football fields worth of rainforest only due to cattle production. The amount of calories that you receive from the amount of fossil fuels you use to create 1 calorie of meat would also create an entire 10 calories for the same amount of fossil fuel. Finally, it is much easier to feed the world when you are producing plant products instead of animal products. You can get much more bang for your buck with plant production instead of animal production, and therefore it is a good choice to end the hunger crisis in the world today. I hope that you guys will consider making the occasional vegetarian choice, and I hope this explains why I make the diet choices that I do. Thank you for letting me talk to you.